Have you ever found yourself just endlessly scrolling through a course page, feeling totally lost? Or maybe you're a teacher and you've wished for tools that could make your life just a little bit easier? Well, you are definitely not alone. And it seems like Moodle has been listening, because its latest updates are a direct answer to those wishes. We're about to dive into the key features from versions 4.5, 5.0, and 5.1 that are seriously changing the game for everyone. And listen, this isn't just about a few minor tweaks here and there. As Matt Porritt over at Moodle HQ puts it, this is a real strategic upgrade to the entire platform. It's all about making learning and teaching more effective and, a lot more manageable. So let's break down what that actually looks like in practice. All right, so what's the game plan? We're going to tackle this from 4 different angles. First up, we'll see what's new for students, the people at the heart of it all. Then we'll check out the smarter tools that are making teachers' lives easier. After that, we'll zoom out to the powerful new controls for administrators. And finally, the big one, Moodle's new built-in AI advantage. So let's start where it really counts, with the student. Moodle's latest updates are all about cutting through the noise and making the path to learning just crystal clear. The whole goal here is to create an experience that feels natural and intuitive, not, overwhelming. Okay, we've all been there, right? The scroll of death on a course page. It just goes on and on. Well, Moodle 4.5 takes that problem head on with something called course subsections. Now, all that content can be tucked away neatly into these clean, expandable modules. It's a huge win for focus, and honestly, it's a lifesaver on mobile devices where that endless scroll is a real pain. And to keep students on track, Moodle 5.1 is rolling out the activities overview. Think of it like a personal command center for every learner. It's one single spot to see every single assignment, quiz, and forum post. You can see what's due, what's coming up next, and what you finished. This one change is going to make a massive difference in cutting down on stress and missed deadlines. Okay, so students have a much clearer path, which is great. But what about the people who are actually building those paths? Well, Moodle's new updates are packed with smarter tools for teachers, too. They're all designed to save a ton of time and, just as importantly, help them build better courses. For any teacher designing a course, this is the big question. With all these different tools available, which one is actually the right one for what I'm trying to achieve? In the past, you kind of had to know the technical Moodle tool names by heart, but Moodle 5.1 is taking a much smarter approach. This is such a clever shift in thinking. Instead of just giving teachers a long list of tools, Moodle now asks, hey, what's your teaching goal here? Do you want your students to collaborate? Do you need to run an assessment? Based on your answer, the activity chooser points you to the best tools for that specific purpose. It's a simple idea, but it leads to way more effective course design. And let's talk about grading, the task that never, ever ends. Moodle is finding new ways to lighten that load. Now, teachers can automate things like resubmissions, use bulk actions to grade way faster, and just generally get things done with fewer clicks. For anyone teaching a large class, these little efficiencies add up to hours and hours of saved time. Okay, so we've seen the impact on students and on teachers. Now let's zoom out a bit and look at the big picture. Moodle's new updates are also giving administrators some really powerful new tools for managing their entire institution. So in the past, if you wanted to get detailed data on how your Moodle site was being used, you often had to mess around with third-party plugins or run complex database queries. The new report builder in Moodle 5.1 changes all of that. It's a tool that's built right in, and it lets admins create, save, and reuse custom reports super easily. With this, you can track pretty much everything from learner completion rates to compliance training. You can even schedule reports to run automatically. The bottom line here is you can get the exact data you need right when you need it, all from inside Moodle, no extra tools required. But hey, data is only one part of the equation, right? How do you make sure that really important messages are actually getting to your students and staff, and not just getting buried in a crowded email inbox? This is where the new SMS subsystem comes into play. It gives you a super direct and immediate way to communicate. We're talking about things like urgent alerts, critical deadline reminders, or campus-wide announcements. For those things, a simple text message is just way more effective than an email that might not get seen for hours. And finally, we've arrived at the biggest shift in Moodle's evolution, the deep integration of artificial intelligence. And I want to be clear,
Moodle hasn't just sprinkled in a few AI features. It has built AI into the very core of the platform.
So, what does that mean? It means AI is now a fundamental part of the Moodle experience, just like the text editor or the messaging system is. It's designed to be a helpful assistant for everybody, whether you're a student struggling with a tough concept or a teacher building out course content.
So what can this AI actually do? Well, for teachers, it can help generate text and even create images right inside the editor, which is a massive time saver. And for students, there's an explain tool that can break down a confusing paragraph and a summarize tool that can condense a long article into just the key points. It's really all about making learning more accessible to everyone.
Of course, whenever you have powerful new technology like this, there's always a critical question that comes up. Who's in control here? How can you be sure that AI is being used responsibly and in a way that actually aligns with your school's or your company's values? Well, Moodle's answer to that is pretty simple. They're putting the control firmly in your hands. Administrators get to decide exactly which AI features are enabled, and you can even control them on a course-by-course basis. You can also see detailed reports on how the AI is being used. This isn't about letting some mysterious black box make decisions. It's about giving you the tools to use AI wisely and transparently. So, when you add it all up, Moodle is now more intuitive for students, more efficient for teachers, and way more intelligent for everyone. It really is a huge leap forward for the platform. And that leaves us with one final, very exciting question. Now that these powerful new tools are at your fingertips, how are you going to use them to redefine what's possible in learning?